This is WFO Radio.
Hey everybody, WFO, Joe Costello here, and we are getting closer and closer to the DENSO Big Go. That's right, the U.S. Nationals are next weekend, testing ongoing, everybody getting ready, and we started the pre-race hype a week early because we absolutely love and are excited for this race on this show. Very excited. We've got three-time Mello Yello Pro Stock World Champion Erica Ender is going to be on the show, and Jason Scruggs, who has got a shot at his first win in the rescheduled final from one of the first Indy races. And we're going to speak with Jason on the show. He's a farmer. He's taking time out of farming to come on the show. Both our drivers have red cars. Coincidence or conspiracy? You decide. We got great sponsors that make this show possible. I'm talking about samtech.edu, talking about Total Seal Piston Rings, talking about Frank Hawley's drag racing school, played a big role in Erica's young career. And of course, Marvin Rodak, rodakscoffeeandgrills.com. I'm going to tell you all about them, but we got Erica, who is like in transit, making moves, heading from place to place, and has agreed to pull over and hang with us for a few minutes. So let's bring her on the show immediately. What's up, three-time? How's Erica? Oh my gosh, I can't hear Eric all of a sudden. I can't hear you. We just did a test and now I can't hear you. I'm going to kick you out and you come right back in on the same link and it'll work. And what happens is you get like a phone call or something and it ruins everything. But there it is. We got people queuing up on the Facebook. This is where I tell you about Total Seal Piston Rings, the leader in ring seal technology. We got a brand new episode of Hidden Horsepower just dropped yesterday morning, and it's going through the roof. The Bill Grumpy Jenkins story, the Bob Glidden stories, the Warren Johnson stories, all of that, thanks to Total Seal Piston Rings. Go to totalseal.com. She's back, and we tested it, and of course it worked, and then we did it for real. Is it working? It's not working. Yeah, I like it. But they sound so great. But she is now going to look at this. Like, how about you just move your mouth and I'll do your voice? I'm going to win the freaking U.S. Nationals. I'm out for vengeance. All right. Now that your Bluetooth is unplugged, you got to come back in again. I don't know why this did. Go do the same thing you did again. Now your Bluetooth is unplugged and we'll be good. This is weird. And this is where I tell you about samtech.edu, the School of Automotive Machinists and Technology. Start your education at full speed. Talking about blockhead CNC programs, motorsport, EFI tuning, all of that. Available at samtech.edu. They do a great job. Factory Stock Showdown, Factory Stock Podcast. Where are the next generations going to come from? It should be you. Samtech.edu. And thank you to Brian Massengill and the Massengill family for supporting our show. Let's try again. You are a very, very tenacious person. Oh my gosh. I can't hear Erica again. And we tested it and it worked so well just seconds before. And I have no idea. All right, wait a second. Is this something that I'm doing? Let me bring her out and put her back in. Try now. No, is your volume up? Is your volume on your phone? Hi, Joe. We had a great conversation. She obviously hears me, and I don't know what to do. Let's see what the people out there say what to do. They say that they're just saying hello to Erica. They're saying what's up to everybody. Daryl Gwynn is out there. Come on, DG. What's going on, Daryl? And Erica is going to fight it out. Now, the whole technology thing, which is it's a miracle we can do this. That's what it is. Oh, Daryl, I'm going to wait to put this comment up for Erica to be able to talk, but I just don't understand why it's refusing her. And you guys can hear me and I can hear me and everything's up and all my levels and volumes and everything are exactly where they should be. It is a little frustrating, but it does give me the opportunity to tell you, I promise this is not done on purpose, so I can tell you about Frank Hawley's drag racing school, the dragster adventure and licensing courses and all of these wonderful things. Go to frankhawley.com to find out more information. You too can drive a dragster and maybe even become a world champion. frankhawley.com. This is really all just getting hit. She's back. I hear you now.
Can you hear me?
I can. That's it.
Sorry, I try. I don't know. I'm not technology savvy, I guess.
Nobody is, Erica. It's a miracle that we can do this at all. Like if I told you 10 years ago, yeah, you'll be in a car, not connected to anything, and we'll be able to do a video chat that's as good as TV, would you have believed it? I wouldn't have.
No, no way.
So, you know what? The audience is totally cool with it. And you, tenacious, just like on the track, you made your way on the show. But let's make up for some lost time. First of all, you're traveling, you're heading home, right? Give us, you're getting ready for maybe a weekend at home so you can focus on the U.S. Nationals a week from now.
Yes, sir. Richard and the guys went to his ranch to go fishing and to plant some plots for deer hunting season coming up. So I took the opportunity to go home. I think my sister's going to be in town this weekend, spend some time with my dad, maybe some friends, get my hair done before the big go. You know, got to get your hair did. But anyway, that's the plans. Nothing real big, but head back to Oklahoma Sunday night or Monday and then to Indy on Thursday.
All right, we got some people already queued up here, and there's just one that I want to put up there because of its, the significance of the person. Daryl Gwynn out there calling you one of the greatest all-time ambassadors of the NHRA. Excited. Daryl doesn't always tune in, only when we have like the big superstars, and here he is. That's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Hi, Daryl.
Yeah, DG. So you did a test, or you had a test. You didn't do a test. You had a test. Do you feel good after your test session?
Our test session went really well yesterday. We spent the entire day in Tulsa, and I think we left at 5:00 in the morning, and I got home. I walked in my door at 12:30 last night. So it was a long day. We had just a little bit of a rain delay, but we made 8 or 9 runs, and just testing some new stuff that the engine shop has been developing. Of course, if we find things, I'm the test dummy. If we find things that are headed in the right direction, we implement them on all 6 of our Pro Stock cars. So this was a big step in the right direction, I feel. I think that the test was really successful. And then I got to work on some things with my clutch pedal. I haven't been up to my par lately on the Christmas tree. So I worked on some things yesterday and left the track feeling pretty confident. So I'm excited. My crew chiefs are ready. Mark Ingersoll was there with us at the test, as well as Kyle Bates and Jake Hairston. Had some help from the guys off of Jeg's car as well. So all hands on deck, and we had a good time. It was hot and humid and yucky, but we made some big strides in the right direction.
Well, that's good. And last year's championship, we've said it over and over again, but it bears saying again because we get a chance to kind of close the story this next weekend. The motivation for the championship came from the disappointment of the final round of the U.S. Nationals. I can't imagine you've ever been more motivated than for this race.
Whew, I'll tell you what, that was probably the most heartbreaking loss of my entire career. Maybe with an exception to our first final round when I was back with Cagnazzi in 2011 against Mike Edwards in Bristol, Tennessee. And then, of course, against my ex-crew chief in the finals at the U.S. Nationals. So those are probably the top 3 worst losses of all time. But that one made me physically ill. It was just disgusting. The only saving grace was that my teammate and really great friend Alex Laughlin was in the other lane. So it was an elite performance, elite motorsports win. Everybody was in the winner's circle celebrating, and it was a great day, but one of those really tough pills to swallow. So to answer your question, yes, heading into that race day, my crew chief did an interview, and he said, we're going to win this race and we're going to win the championship too. Yeah. I heard him on the PA, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a tall order, Rick. I mean, I'm glad you're feeling confident, but I've said a million times that the confidence in my guys' voices and how they show it really gives me confidence in turn. So that was kind of the turning point, and we were game on for the rest of the countdown, and didn't go in exactly where we wanted to, but finished on top, and that's all that matters. That is all that matters.
It's you got to win championships, you got to win U.S. Nationals. These things, they come at different times, and there's a reason for everything. We just don't understand it. But man, that Rick Jones interview, that was great. And I'm fortunate. I was the guy who he decided to release that information upon. And I'm like, that's what I like. I like when the crew chief says something extreme and confident, like, yeah, we're going to go out there and get it done and win. And people are like blown away. And he went out and you guys won the championship. But those kind of interviews, we need more of them, even if it doesn't work out.
We do, for sure. And I love Rick Jones with my whole heart. And Mark Ingersoll has really been an asset to our program. So those guys work incredibly hard. They rack their brains for our entire operation. All three of our crew chiefs, Ricky Jones, and Mark Ingersoll. We've got Eric Lazinski on board now that's helping with TJ's car, and the Kaminskis we're helping with your buddy Bruno's car. And so we had just a really solid group of guys with a huge brain trust. So I feel pretty blessed to be one of their drivers.
That's great. That is tremendous. And it's exciting. Now, I've been looking at the point standings, and we've got this different scenario going on this year in that, we hope that there's a bunch more races, but we're not sure. I feel like there's going to be, but you're 77 out of the lead in third. Greg is fourth, 189 back. That's a large number. And Jeg, of course, with the lead. So every round counts. It's not a countdown this year. So that's a little different.
It's definitely different. I think, like you mentioned, every point's going to count. And that's why we go out there and try to qualify in the best position that we can. All those baby points are going to matter. But Jeg's got a substantial lead ahead of me, 77 points. It's like 2.5 rounds, not quite a half. But, I just got to have some consistency, got to have a little bit of luck. Things haven't been falling our way, but I'm ready for the tide to turn. And it always seems to, at the right time.
Well, that's it. That's what luck is, catching a break. That's it. All right. Someone wanted to know if you were driving a bus. Like, is that some sort of thing? Look at this. Derek wants to know, are you driving a bus? That thing is big, whatever it is.
A short bus, maybe. No, I'm driving an Expedition.
All right.
It's for me and all my friends that I don't have.
Yeah, listen, whatever. You got to make plans for things to go right. That way, when they do go right. But something like that usually end up as the designated driver, just saying. So the way we prepare for a race like this, we've been saying it all week. This is the biggest one. This is the Super Bowl. This is the Daytona 500 and the World Series and the Super Bowl wrapped inside the Indy 500 all together for drag racers. So there's got to be a mental side to it. Knowing the car is ready, what's the mental side?
There's definitely a mental side to it. That's a huge part of this entire game that we play. The U.S. Nationals are super prestigious. I've won it one time. I think I've runnered it up. Is that even a word? Twice. So I love Indy. I love the pressure that it sets on your shoulders. I love how my guys perform underneath it. But the mental game, it's usually a marathon because it's almost a week long, especially if you're running sportsman. But this year, with the corona, it's a little bit different. So we'll head in Thursday. We get 1 hit on Friday, 2 on Saturday, and we'll race on Sunday. So we got to come out swinging. A big part of why we tested yesterday in Tulsa. So we've got the guys hard at work implementing those changes on our other race cars. But I'm going in feeling confident, Joe. I feel like this is the most confident I've been this season. I'm not going to make predictions or anything because I hate that, but I will tell you that it's game on. I have the best guys in the world, and our race operation is second to none. So I'm thrilled to head to Indy, the real Indy. It felt interesting racing there these last couple of weeks. Just thankful to have a place to race, honestly. But when you walk in the gate of the U.S. Nationals, it's a feeling that's replaced by nothing else in the world, and I'm excited. I want to win so bad, especially after what happened last year.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine. And you've had a good season, and of course, winning in Phoenix and sitting atop of the points for such a long time as we sorted out this deal, and things are moving in the right direction. We're going to have a little bit bigger crowd out there, and it will feel like the U.S. Nationals. And this year, such a special year, like whatever happens this year, it's all weird and awkward and different. 10 years from now, it's going to be meaningful to have succeeded in a year like this.
I feel like you're accurate, Joe. This year has been hard on everyone. A lot of people from a lot of places all across the world. And, I'm excited that we've been able to have some events at Indy, starting the year off with a bang. Jeg winning Pomona, myself winning Phoenix, then Jeg winning the Dorsheimer Nationals, and another race since then. So I feel like we're on the right path, but this year is definitely different. It just feels different. It feels weird. 16 years straight on the road for me. I know a lot of other racers have raced longer, but this has been so different because usually traveling 300 days a year, and now you're like home, and it's kind of like, well, you go to work every day, and then what do you do like after work or on the weekend when you're not racing? I don't know. I've never been in that situation as an adult. So it's kind of weird, but and this year's also awesome because I was looking so forward to it, being the reigning Pro Stock world champion, obviously, but the 50th year of Pro Stock is so awesome. I have so much pride in our class, and we work really hard to make it what it is, along with a lot of our competitors. But then Jeg Coughlin, my teammate, is retiring from full-time racing at the end of the year. Bo Butner announced it last week, and then Jason Line too. So our class is changing substantially, and some of the big, great, legendary names are stepping away. I don't think that they'll be gone out of the picture by any means, but it will definitely be a different landscape next year. So I'm just excited to get to the big go, and then hopefully the 6 final races after that, or whatever they're going to do, who knows, but we'll be ready.
All right. I like your attitude. It's going to be different. You're going to be even more. We're going to have to lean on you even more. No Jason, no Bo, no Jeg. Those are 3 huge personalities in pro stock. But at the same time, this new wave is coming in. Kyle Koretsky, Aaron Stanfield, TJ Coughlin. And that's turning out to be a tough matchup for anybody. And you found that out.
I did. I found that I haven't beat him once yet. I had to race him first round at the Dorseyhammer Nationals, and he loaded my butt on the trailer, and he did so again 2 weeks ago in Indy. So, I was 4th out red. He was 4 green. We weren't going to get there anyway, but it's crazy. I'll tell you what, if that kid keeps at it, he will 1,000,000% be a pro stock world champion. Guaranteed.
Oh, that's awesome. And such a likable character too. I know he's on the
awesome
team. Yeah, he is. And everybody needs to know he's got top fuel experience, A fuel experience, pro stock experience. Amazing stuff. Jeg's running a throwback scheme. We wanted everybody to run throwback schemes, but obviously those plans got thrown by the wayside. But some are, some aren't. What scheme are you in? I legitimately don't know the answer to this.
I'm in my normal Melling Performance Elite Motorsports red Chevy Camaro. Jeg's car, Scott Brown finished it 2 days ago. It looks amazing. I really hope that he finishes the year in it. It is, I was a fan girl of Jeg for a really long time, just being the driver that he is. I've always followed him, and he's always been so gracious enough to help me with my career. So that car really stands out, and I think it's going to be awesome. We had talked about it earlier in the year when they made the decision to do some throwback stuff at Indy, and I wanted to do one of Bob Glidden's cars. Obviously it didn't come to fruition, but maybe next year there'll be some more normalcy to our schedule and our lives, and we'll be able to contribute to the throwback deal. But keep an eye out for Jeg's car. It looks awesome.
Yeah. Which Bob Glidden car? Give me 2. So we're surprised. I already got a couple in my head that would be incredible.
The red, white, and blue with the giant number 1 on the door, on the glass on the door.
I like it. I like it. All right, we got a couple of questions out there. Marshall wants to know when the EE face masks, face coverings are going to be available again. Do you happen to know? I know that's a Courtney question, but swagging for Erica out here. People want the masks.
Well, that's awesome. If you're going to be at the U.S. Nationals, they will be on the Nitro Fish trailer with Randy Lynn and Bo. If you will not be there, I believe Courtney put some new net gaiters and masks up yesterday. The link is provided on my Erica Enders Racing Facebook page. If you don't have Facebook, you can go to elitehp.com, HP like horsepower, and just type in the search bar net gaiters or face coverings or Erica Enders, and it should pop up. But there are some up on the internet right now.
You were very prepared for that question. I thought I was coming out of nowhere with that one. All right. Al wants to know if you're going to be running more Comp Eliminator in the future. And this is the conversation we had during our incredible audio test. And we all relaxed because we started to talk drag racing. And of course, the tech gods zapped us. But what about that, Erica? Your Comp Eliminator experience. And will you be running anything other than Pro Stock at the U.S. Nationals?
No, I will just be running Pro Stock. I'm focusing solely on that this coming weekend. But the Comp Eliminator car that's owned by Lee Sharp, it's a short wheelbase Pontiac, and I love it. It's super fun. It's just a slower Pro Stock car, basically. It's a clutch car with a 5-speed Liberty. So I really enjoyed driving it to an extent. I am not a great bottom bulb racer. I'm just throwing that out there. But I kind of, at the Topeka Divisional a month or so ago, I was like 30 and 40 red, Same with Richard. He was driving the Pro Stock Mustang in comp also, and but his is an automatic. They put an automatic transmission in that one, so he was able to leave with the button. And I'll just explain a quick difference. Like, he was 30, 40, 50 red also, because it's a 5/10 tree and you're just having to leave on the bottom bulb. It's a little bit different than a Pro tree, obviously. So he put a longer button in it, like longer travel, and he went from 30 and 40 red to 00 green. And he joked that's the first time he's ever been 00, but then he put a different spring on it and it slowed him down to 30. And during eliminations, he was 31, 33, 38. So very consistent, and you're able to change that with just the trans brake button. Having a clutch car, you can't do that. So my guys have been really patient with me. Tim Freeman, who works over at KB, is my comp crew chief. Mark Ingersoll and Jake Harrison are obviously on board as well. But super challenging for me. The car, we set the world record, both ends, the ET and speed record at the Houston Divisional. So I have the car, I have the motor, I have the guys, we have the coolest trailer, like, and then it's me, right? And I'm just messing everything up on the starting line, which I'm not used to because of Pro Stock. So long story short, I'm working on the bottom bulb aspect, but I will be back in comp when I'm confident enough to showcase our equipment.
Bottom bulb handicap start is impossible, let alone difficult. If you're waiting, it's hard. It's a very hard thing to do. How do you explain that to people? You got all the chaos going on the other side, the trees coming down like this. It's not the kind of thing you figure out in 3 outings.
No, it's definitely not something that you figure out. And I feel like I'm a pretty versatile driver, but I've really struggled with it, to be honest. It's been extremely humbling. Not that I'm not, but it's just like a weird deal. I tried open tree. So for the people that don't know the terminology, I'm sure most of your viewers do. Bottom bulb is like, Pro tree is where all 3 ambers flash at one time, like Pro Stock. Bottom bulb racing, the ambers yellow, 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 green. So you have to leave on the bottom yellow, the third yellow. So I've tried it with an open tree. I've tried it with a blinder. Randy Lynn's help with the blinder, Jeg's help with the blinder, Lloyd Woodford's help. I mean, a lot of people have been offering their advice, and it essentially turns it from a full tree to a Pro tree, because you're blocking out everything but that bottom bulb. So you're seeing it and reacting it. And even on the blinder, I'm still 30 red. So we just got to slow the car down. I've got to slow myself down without affecting my Pro Stock game. So that's kind of the game plan. Tim and Mark have come up with some stuff, and we're going to try it in testing. But in the meantime, after we set the world record in Houston, we sold the motor out of the car, which is kind of why I drive it, right? To showcase our horsepower and offer that to other customers out there. So we sold the motor. Todd Patterson at Patterson Elite's building us a new one, and we'll be back in comp soon.
Very exciting. Very exciting. All right. Before I let you go, because I know you're traveling, right? And I really appreciate you making the time for us to, pulling over to the side of the road, et cetera. But you did say that you didn't know what to do on the weekends. And for the first time in your life, 16 years, what do you do? So what did you do? What did you do when it was Friday at 5 o'clock and now you've got all this free time and nothing to do on the weekend? What did Erica do?
Well, so we've been division racing some of those weekends. Richard has a ranch in southeastern Oklahoma that we go to sometimes to fish. Other times, to be honest, I catch up on laundry and sleeping in, which I forgot how to do. Not really. I'm a professional at it if somebody lets me sleep in, but just having weekends to clean out the garage and do normal stuff, like weed through my closets and throw out clothes I haven't worn in a long time. I feel like it's given me a lot of time to catch up on my real life stuff. Obviously, since quarantine, we've been Chase lives with me, and we've been working really hard on our diet and working out. So we're trying to get fit. Courtney's helping. Obviously, Jed Coughlin's wife Samantha's really helping me. So it's long answer to your question. I don't really know, Joe. I don't know what to do.
Hey, whatever is working. Speaking of Courtney, she's become the breakout star of COVID on our happy hour shows. She and Jason Logan have been having a good time. I know you've been on there a few times, but what do you think of what Courtney's been doing? She's become a fan favorite.
I love her. I'm really proud of her. That girl has work ethic like nobody in the entire world, and people see her at the racetrack. She's usually sprinting somewhere in her yoga pants, and she just, like, what she does out there is incredible. Like, she has so many clients that she takes care of, and then on top of that, she has me, which I'm like, really, she's the older sister because she takes care of me, but I'm a full-time job, and she reminds me of that all the time. But she helps me with a lot of stuff at the racetrack and off of the track. But I love Courtney because she can say all the things that I can't, and she has such a different personality. She's an extrovert and has a lot of energy, and I'm the exact opposite. So growing up in the same house, it's really odd that our parents raised us both because we couldn't be more different. But she's my favorite person in the world.
That is awesome. No, you guys are both great. Erica, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. We'll let you get back to driving. I'll see you next week. I'll be NHRA is pulling me off the bench, and I'll be back out there. And so, yay, I'm excited. I will see you there. Can't wait. The big go. Looking forward to it. I know you're ready. And we're going to close this story from last year and make it into something special. Good luck.
Thank you. From your lips to God's ears. It's always fun talking to you, Joe. Thank you.
Thank you. Likewise, Erica. Safe travels. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
There she goes, 3-time Pro Stock World Champion, Erica Enders, with us on WFO Radio. Such a great family, obviously. She's such a great racer. Excellent stuff. And we just had Jason Scruggs on, and he was getting ready. We were getting ready to go to him, and he's gone. I got to tell him, I lost you. I lost you. Boop. And we'll just wait for him. But hey, I want to say to everybody out there, Marvin Rodak, Rodak'sCoffeeandGrills.com, hot sauces and spice rubs and everything good. Marvin is just one of our diehard supporters, and we would love for you to try a bag of coffee from Marvin Rodak. This guy is amazing. And it was funny, Terry McMillan even yesterday talking about Marvin Rodak and how good he has done over the years. All right, get some comments up there in the comment section, and I'll also tell you how to get some free WFO radio stickers and how to get a WFO radio face covering for those that are interested. But we're getting ready to talk with a potential pro modified first-time winner. And I'm very excited to speak with this gentleman as we are going to bring him on. Let's see if he is there. Oh, not quite yet. And, we did some testing. Jason, all right, we hear you, but we do not see you. Try to reconnect. It's been gave Erica all kinds of fits, just a weird internet day, but try again. I'll kick you out and then bounce back in, and we'll see how it works. This guy, his family, has a farm that's like 24,000 acres. They're farmers, they're racers, and he's got a shot to win his first NHRA Pro Mod race. Now, he's won many races, in that they run in the PDRA and that they have been, from the outlaw world, etc. And I am just super excited to speak with him. He'll be going up against Chad Green. Chad Green is going to be part of our happy hour extravaganza tomorrow, 4 p.m. Courtney Enders says she's going to pop in. Jason Logan, if he can take a little time off from What Does Joey Know, going to pop in. We got Amanda Busick said she's going to pop in, and it's going to be everybody. Maybe even we'll send out the link to listeners out there and have a good time. But that is tomorrow, 4 p.m. right here, WFO, and we're going to talk U.S. Nationals, and it is going to be great. All right, let's go back out to Jason Scruggs, see if he's able to jump on. Jason, do you read me? Can you hear me? No, not working. What? Oh, there he is. Just be patient, Joe. Just be patient. There he is. We see you, Jason. It's all good. How are you, sir?
I got you. Oh, I'm wonderful, Joe. How's you?
I am great. I am thrilled. You got a shot at a win here in Pro Mod, E3 Spark Plugs Pro Mod. I know you've done a lot in racing. Let's focus on that. Big moment for you. Chad Green going to be tough. What do you think about that final?
Well, I've had plenty of time to think about it. It's kind of weird with where the rain hit for my first final, but if we can get the deal done, that'd be cool. Chad's a great racer, and hopefully, like Steve Jackson says, the blower god to come to us and air will be dry, and we'll start against that nitrous car. In our class, that's the way with the different power adders. Weather plays a big key role. Some days nitrous car is a little bit more of an advantage, and some days a blower car does. So maybe it'll be our day, and just got to go up and down the racetrack, get a good light, and hope the best.
Now, I was mentioning while you were reconnecting your family farm and business and your racers and have been really successful in ramping up the racing. I know you do some PDRA, started out doing some outlaw stuff. And how has E3 Spark Plugs Pro Modified been challenge-wise compared to the other stuff you've done?
Well, you take compared to what I've been doing, through the years, you take a 1,000 horsepower away from the car, and you take 1,000 away and add 300 pounds. So it's just a different way of racing. I've always raced eighth mile stuff, so this is quarter mile. So that's quite a bit of challenge, and the racing over there is tough. Everybody's bunched together. NHRA does a good job with pairs lately, and of course the Pro Charger is a different story this year. But, they got to start there, so it's still cool to have them on board, and we appreciate them what they're doing to sponsor the class at Indy. So happy to have them out with the class. But today, the biggest challenge is just taking a little bit and doing a whole lot with it. It's what you have to do over on the NHRA side compared to what I'm used to. We had over 4,000 horsepower, free-light cars, and if you just got them down the racetrack, you'd do pretty good. This thing here, everything affects it, and you got to be on your game all the time. So that's been a learning curve. I've been to, I think, seven NHRA races, and a few of them I didn't qualify for. I mean, we ran decent, just got beat by a few thousands, didn't get in the show. So to go to our first final in 7 races, and if we can get the win, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, we love creating new personalities, and you've got a great story, and you've got a fan base that follows you, and these are all important things. And to hear you describe the way that from where you were to where you are, you have to get the power management and be efficient with your power, kind of like we always tell the story of Pro Stock compared to Pro Mod. You can't just brute force it, right? You have less power. And that's an interesting angle, but you guys have taken to it and doing real well. Of course, quarter mile drag racing, twice the distance, you're going a whole lot faster. That's got to be fun.
It is. I've been 224 in 8 mile before in a door car.
That's crazy.
We run 200 miles an hour. We were the first car to run 200 miles an hour in the 8th mile back in like 13 years ago. So these cars are probably not quite as fast as what I have been running, but you are going 250, and just like Stevie yesterday, he had a little mishap at the finish line. At the quarter mile, end up string things and parachutes get tangled up, and that's your biggest fear in one of these cars. A lot can happen, so you can't take anything for granted, no matter how much experience you have. They can be a handful at times, and things happen no matter how good driver you are.
I've seen it, and we don't like to see it, but that's part of the business. And, that's unfortunately, it's the downside of racing, right? Is every once in a while things go sideways, literally, and you got to drive through it. But with the amount of experience you've got, tell me how that came about. We know you family farmers, and kind of I don't want to call it solitary. You tell me, but racing seems to balance it off pretty nicely. How'd you get into this? First car, first racing action, where the bug of racing bit you?
Well, my dad used to race when he was a kid, and then he couldn't afford it, and he quit for a long time. And I was actually and asked him to take me to the races. It was a drag race. He built another car, and we started. When I got 15 years old, he built me a car, and we both bracket raced. Just like Erica was talking about a minute ago. I did a lot of big bracket racing back in the early 90s. Before, and then in 1995 we decided to go pro mod racing. Actually, Rick Jones built me my first pro mod car. Erica's
Cool.
Crew chief, as fate would have it, and Rick's helped me a lot through the year. I'm for Roger and Shirley Henson's car, and then it's my motors and stuff. And Joe Hornick and Brad and all those guys help the power and Chuck Ford superchargers. So we got this. I've had a lot of good people to help us. And when I'm here, Wesley Jones, my dad Henson, Ricky Light, we all just all volunteer, and we just do it for the fun of it. And sometimes you're not careful. I work a lot of hours, 7 days a week when we're harvesting and stuff, and planning, and if you're not careful, racing can become another job. So we try not to let that be not happen, But luckily through everything we have, we couldn't be as successful as we are without good help. People that like I said, Rick Jones, and I got a Jerry Bickle car. Through the issue and we had parts. So that really helps when you get to the track to have the right equipment. But to answer your question, didn't really beat around the bush about it, but yeah, in the early '90s we built our first pro mod car, and we had built a bone small block, and at the time we didn't really think that it would run that good. That's just what we knew because we're bracket racing with them. So we go out and start running, and next thing you know, a year or two, I was running with the top guys and winning outlaw races and making a name for myself. And next thing you know, then they bring in Scotty Cannon in to match race me because he was like the big guy back then, in IHRA Pro Mod. So I match raced him and we went around. Scotty was kind of my hero back when we started. And so we made a name for ourselves. We had the fastest small block, in the world for all through the 1990s. And, and did real good with that car. And then I just kind of wanted something different. And we built the first Hemi car, and ADRL kind of come along, and the class, that is now called Pro Extreme, came along in the early 2000s. And then through there, I was the first car to run 380s, 370s, 360s.
Sure.
Over 200 at the 8th. Everybody was chasing that. Flow big bumps. We got that. I think it was 7 at Rockingham. So just been around a long time. And like I said, I've been doing this pro mod in some shape or form close to 25 years now. So I know I don't look that old, but something like that.
Yeah, you look pretty young if you've been doing this a long time. I know you got started early, but you look well balanced, and if you shave that off, people could think you were in your 30s.
Well, if I take my hat off, I look a little older. So
yeah, don't do
that.
Good. Now we got a question from some people out there. Of course, it's going out on the Facebook. Scott wants to know, how many ADRL or PDRA championships do you have? That's just out of nowhere from Scott.
I've won 3 driving, and then I teamed his car to a PDRA championship in 2014. So I've got 3 world championships driving and 1 crew chief.
Wow. That's just crew chiefing for another person doing real well. I think it is great. I'm excited about this final and, of course, the U.S. Nationals, but the finals coming first. You and Chad's super excited. We're going to talk to him tomorrow. Do you have a message for Chad Green? You want to go full Stevie Fast on this guy, or how do you guys handle this? Because I'm going to be talking to Chad tomorrow, and I'm going to tell him exactly what you said.
Well, every time I have to eat my words, so I'm just going to shut up, and hopefully it works out. I don't want to be the nice guy, but every time I brag, it bites me in the ass. So I'll just be the nice guy here. But we have a lot of time to think about it. I like for Chad's got a few runner-ups to his credit, and I don't know if any of the old guys remember, but John Forrest, the winningest driver in NHRA, got a whole bunch of runner-ups before he got his first wins. So I hope Chad's one of them. One of them guys at least get one more runner-up.
I love the knowledge. I love the John Forrest stat, which is true. It was a lot. It was like 11 or something. It was a lot. And then he goes on to be John Forrest. Jason, thank you so much. It's my fault that it's been so long. I have not yet had you on the show, but we've broken the ice, and I have a feeling it's going to be a lot more. Appreciate what you do. Thank you so much for coming on and making the time, and racing in the NHRA and entertaining all of us race fans. Really do a great job. Love the car, and I'll see you next week. Thank you so much for coming on WFO Radio.
Thank you for having me, Joe. See you next week. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Jason Scruggs with us here on WFO Radio Podcast. And the audio quality was, I would say, good enough. I heard what Jason had to say. And to think that, first of all, bracket racers, never sleep on the bracket racers. They choose to do what they're doing because that's what they want to do. But when it comes to technical ability to go fast, drive fast, tune cars, they got it. And so they were bracket racers who decided to go fast in Pro Mod with a small block, had the fastest small block in the country for a while. What an amazing story. I really appreciate Jason coming on the show. And look at this. Saw Scruggs at the Door Slammer Nationals at Orlando Speed World, and some discussion of Rockingham. Really good stuff. I really appreciate it. It's going to be a battle. So what do? He took the very gentlemanly way out when I gave him the opportunity to smack talk Chad Green. Should we make something up? Oh, he's still watching down there. So maybe I'll have to make something up. No, I'm not going to make up anything. I'm going to just play it honest. I can understand that. You don't like to talk smack in racing because there's so many things that can bite you. Like the dumbest thing. All right, get your final comments up in the comment section. We'll talk about some stuff like tomorrow's big happy hour. I'm calling it the U.S. Nationals pre-race extravaganza. No, I don't know. The U.S. Nationals pre-race happy hour. 4:00 Eastern time. And I have put out to Justin Ashley and to TJ Zizzo to both come on the show. And my plan is that they'll both accidentally show up at the same time. And, and then maybe they'll talk about the final. What if that happened? That would be kind of cool. And we're going to have others. And like I said, maybe we'll get some listeners out there. Maybe look at this guy. Is the Flying Airbrush invited for happy hour? And I can't see who that is, but I'm guessing that's Jerron, who has become a great listener. In our archive, if you don't know about the Flying Airbrush, go back and check out that episode because we critiqued and analyzed all his paint schemes and the work he has done. It has been amazing. The answer, Jerron, is absolutely. I'll send you the link. You come on there and hang out. Absolutely. That's what I want it to be. Just a hangout session where you don't know who's coming in and who's going out and who's ongoing and who's leaving and who's going to be next. And who knows? Maybe nobody will show up. When I used to throw parties when I was a young person, I wasn't afraid of other people. I would throw parties, and that was the big nervous time. Is anybody going to show up to this thing? And then it becomes Project X. And then it all goes south. And so, but yes, Jerron, let me know. Text me. I'll hit you with the link. Erica mentioned Nitrofish Racing. Want to remind everybody, you can get t-shirts, of course, at Nitrofish Racing. Our WFO radio t-shirt, the 25th anniversary t-shirt, is available there at nitrofishracing.com. And you see there's a promo code, but I'm going to ask you to not use it if you get the Lagana Strong t-shirt. I know the messaging isn't so clear and easy to understand. When should I use the promo code? When you're buying anything other than the Lagana Strong t-shirt, because all the proceeds of that t-shirt are going right to the families. Dominic is still in the hospital, and we're flying the Nitro Ninja up there in the corner until we get some good news about Dominic. And everybody needs to be in a Lagana Strong shirt. And I hear that they're working in shifts, and Randy Lynn and Christy, they're packaging shirts and having to get more people on board. It's really just the greatest effort of the racing family to get behind Dominic. So again, nitrofishracing.com. You can definitely get yourself an Erica Enders face covering and all of that. Randy Lynn, I believe, has WFO radio face coverings. We allow you to get these directly from me, though. You can go to WFOradio.com. There's now a WFO store right there in the menu, and there's a link. You just click it. It's $10 with shipping, and I'll throw in some WFO radio stickers right along with it. And so that'll be easy. Go to WFOradio.com and click the store. If you just want the stickers, you don't want the face covering, I'll send them to you for free. If you fly the WFO colors, for free. P.O. Box 848-353, Pembroke Pines, Florida, 33084 for just the stickers. And it goes to a P.O. Box, and I go check the P.O. Box every couple of days. Want to mention a few things. We got a new episode of Hidden Horsepower out for you podcast listeners. WFO radio wasn't always a live stream. I started out in talk radio in Miami. I moved to XM Satellite Radio, then the podcast, WFO Radio Podcast, and this live stream. Very recent, in fact, because of the amazing technology. Even when it's terrible, it's still really good. But we do a lot of audio-only stuff. I worked in a warehouse, and I was shrink-wrapping parts, and what got me through was AM radio, just listening. I couldn't be watching a screen. I had to just listen. And the talk radio hosts on there are the reason I got into talk radio. And so podcasting, all that stuff is near and dear to my heart for the person that's over the road. They're driving, they're working, they're focused, but they can listen. That's not unsafe for them to do. Total Seal has us create a podcast for them. It's called Hidden Horsepower. And Tom Martino, former pro stock racer. Tom Martino, if you're a drag racer, you're going to love this. It's going to give you pride. took his drag racing knowledge and went into the Whelen Modified series and whooped a whole bunch of people. And even as one of his drivers made it all the way up to the Cup Series, talking about Ryan Preece, had such great success in Whelen Modifieds. But Tom talks about Bob Glidden and Warren Johnson and drinking with Warren Johnson, to be more specific, and Bill Grumpy Jenkins giving him advice. And he's doing voices. It's very entertaining, but also you learn about the mentality, the drag racing, engine building mentality, like what goes into that. You know, finding the 1 horsepower, the 2 horsepower. How do you do it? Amazing stuff. The conversation, where it goes. So go to totalseal.com. You can get the podcast there and, of course, learn more about Total Seal. And that is also true for Factory Stock Podcast, which is up and available right now. Factory Stock Podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud. Chris Holbrook, who is in the final round of the rain-postponed Summer Nationals with Bill Skillman, the first race of the year. They are in the final round together. That final round is going to be run at the U.S. Nationals. Are they going to be there? Are they going? Or are they not going to go? You got to go to Factory Stock Podcast to find out, man. Chris Holbrook is on there. He's our first guest, and he lays it all out. What's up, the rules changes, how they, how it's killing him one way or another. Aaron Stanfield's on the show. Kevin Skinner's on the show. If you like these factory cars, it's a samtech.edu project that we are working on. Yes, WFO Radio can create your podcast for you racers and race teams and sponsors at home. Obviously, you've got to have something really good going on to get us to put that much work and effort into you like that. But yes, go to Factory Stock Podcast. Listen to Chris Holbrook. And it's, I think, a big story. Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, of course, Frank and Lana. Really cool stuff. Dragster Adventure. If you want to drive a dragster against your friend and even set up a race, you can do it. If you want to become a super gas racer, they can help you do that as well. FrankHawley.com. And finally, our good buddy, Marvin. Hey, Marvin Rodak. Marvin's got to make a video that I can put up on the screen, then talk over it, of the coffee roasting, like the amazing experience of the coffee roasting out there at Rodak's. The hot sauces and spice rubs, everything good. Like, everybody needs to call right now. Let's blow up his phone just for fun. 817-924. What do I do to people? 817-924-6821. I make myself laugh. You should never do that. You should never laugh at your own jokes. It's terrible. Terrible thing, Joe. Terrible thing. WFO Joe on Instagram and Twitter. Of course, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, write a review. We're hovering around 100 reviews. We got to break through that number, man. Write us a review. YouTube, subscribe, and click the bell. And, of course, get yourself a WFO Radio t-shirt. All right, let's check out the final comments. Let's see what other comments people have. Everybody wants to know when Jason Logan is going to be back. We're working on it. He's a very busy guy. If you keep up with what does Joey know, Jason Logan is turning into a mainstream entertainer. I'll wait till he comes on the show. But I gave him some career advice, and I hope he takes it. All right, let's see. Oh, look at all these comments. Look at all this. Courtney got this up right when Erica left. I pay her to say that stuff. Yeah, I doubt it, Courtney. Courtney has agreed. Courtney, I know you're super busy. Can you come on for happy hour tomorrow? Yes, she said yes. Even for 5 minutes. It's great to have Courtney on. And let's see. Craig Garland. What's up, Craig? How you doing, buddy? Man, I miss Craig Garland. He says his thing, and then I say, let's burn some nitro. It's a great relationship. Love Courtney and Erica. Let's see. Randy. Courtney and Erica are the bomb. Great ladies. Yes, this is true. You guys, where were you guys when Erica was actually on? Kind of in delay. Little delay. What you drinking, Court? Oh, listen, she's hard at work. It's only 3:00 out there on a Thursday. No way. Let's see. Scott, construction of your residence. Oh, now everyone's just talking to Court about her rant on the social media. It was a very effective rant. I will never stay at that apartment. Just so you know, they're not getting first or last or security. I am definitely going to boycott that apartment complex forever. So very effective rant. Phil says Marvin has great coffee. That's great. Thank you, Phil. Marvin does have great coffee. He's amazing. I tried for the face covering, never got it. Which one? WFO? Not WFO. like if the Erica one. So that's because she's a 3-time champ, and those things get sold out very rapidly. WFO's first wave got sold out, but we got them now in stock. So reach out to me, Diana, and we'll figure it out. Get me in the comment section, or if you just want to go to the website, WFOradio.com. In the WFO store, click the link, and you'll be able to get one right there. But I think you're talking about the Erica one, because the demand when you're a 3-time champ is very high. It's very high. That construction, that's another second time. Let's see. Steve Brenwald, regular points or points and a half? Points and a half. Points and a half. Everyone has been saying that. Points and a half. I haven't had an NHRA official tell me that, but points and a half. Let's see. Marshall, Lagana Strong. Jeff, happy hour. Band is back together. Maybe Erica in 2. Looking forward to Erica has already done her time for WFO this week. Certainly. Looking forward to all the other guests. Always fun. Yeah, the happy hour show, I think, is maybe one of the good things that came out of this COVID deal. The other thing being getting your own golf cart when you go golfing. That's really it. Let's see. What about everyone's favorite teenage announcer, Colton Jordan? I don't know, man. After you drop that F-bomb, I don't know. I'll tell you, you're in, Colton. You're in. It's going to be crazy. That's a joke, Colton. That's what happens. 191,000 Lagana Strong GoFundMe. Let's break 200. Should I be excited about that, or should I be disappointed? I think 191,000 being raised is a lot. It's a lot. And I think some of the people who, and myself included, we need a second wave. Let's get in on it. Let's blow through 200,000. I agree with Scott. If we can break 200,000, I think that is a very successful deal. Let's break 200,000. That's the new goal. Way to go, Scott. When is Gio in Miami going to fix the sticker's address graphic? Since you mentioned it, I pay so much attention to it. That is a good question. Gio is my co-host on the Ignition podcast, which is just what I would call high-level entertainment. We should certainly have a morning show and be on your entertainment listening list. But he did point out, let me get rid of the comment, that I incorrectly abbreviated Florida, and now it's ticking everybody with OCD. And so I do have to fix it, but since he does not create those graphics, it might be there just for our own entertainment for quite some time. Quite some time. Derek, laughing at your own jokes. Who does that? My takeaway was when Erica was talking about bottom bulb racing. Thank you, Jim. We had Ed Federkyle on, Strutmasters racer, and also good personal friend. When I was a young kid, Comp Eliminator to me is maybe the pinnacle of the driving challenge, because it combines the complexity of the 5/10 sportsman tree with handicap starts and the driving ability of pro stock. And Erica is in that situation, launching with a clutch, rowing the gears, but also having to leave a little behind a car getting a spot on you. And that is so hard. And if you've delay box raced, you let go on the button on the top yellow. And if you foot brake race, you stomp the gas on the bottom yellow. Imagine combining all of those elements, and now clutch is involved. Bottom yellow, blocking. And they're all blocking, and they're holding up this blocker, and you can't see it. And let's get the tree going. This is why we have a tree, folks. Does Costello use the tree enough? No. Let's see what the tree is set on. All right. So I had a 026 light, and that is our 5/10 bracket style sportsman tree. But then we'll switch it over. This is a 5/10 Super Street style pro tree. This is a 4/10 sportsman tree, which I've never seen in use ever, but maybe it is. And then, of course, let me get my 4/10 pro tree. 4/10 full tree, 5/10 pro tree, 5/10 full tree. All right. So now off the bottom, somewhere around there, think about it. Somewhere around there. These are incandescent bulbs, old school style bulbs. I keep them forever because I love the way that they look. But those LED bulbs, like, where are you going to go? And so let's lock that in. Oh, boy. Costello is messing around with a tree for the first time in 100 years, live on the air. Not smart, Joe. Not smart. All right, now we have got this. All right, that's what I want. So I'm trying to figure out how to make it into a 2-person race. And I don't know. I'm a moron. Bottom line, when there's all kinds of craziness in the other lane with the lights, it's very distracting. And then you add the car in the other lane launching and its wheels up and maybe it's going at the tree or who knows. And you got to hammer the tree and you got to be consistent and then shift the gears and then decide when you got a world record style car, whether or not you're going to gobble up your own index or not. That's Comp Eliminator. And it's amazing. And I'm excited that Rambo's going to be back this weekend. David Rampy. So you guys just watched like an epic technical fail. Let's see. I'll make you a new design for tomorrow's show. No, thank you very much, Steve. Steve is from Brenwald Media. Do you guys know that? And I'm just lingering on here now. But that's all right. Steve has got a house of 18 bunnies. And here's the story. Sorry, Steve. You shouldn't tell me stuff. That's the problem. One of the great, like Walter Sabo was a talk radio. I believe it was him. I'm going to have to go double check. But anyway, gave me some advice. He sent me a packet, how to be a talk show host one time early on in my career. And I read the packet to see if it was accurate. Because, radio consultants, they get paid a lot of money to consult. But when you're a consultant, it's like, but anyway, it said, your friends are going to hate when you're a talk radio host because they're going to tell you stuff and it's going to end up on the air because you're looking for material. And here Steve is, and he just told me something and I just talked to him and now it's about to go on the air. His Mrs. Steve started the Cottontail Cottage, which is a bunny rescue place. And so Steve built all these great things and they rescue bunnies and they're doing wonderful stuff. And they've got a GoFundMe out there for the Cottontail Cottage. But then, and his wife, the Mrs., was handling it all for the most part, except for the heavy lifting, which he handled. But now she got a gig doing something else. Guess who's in charge of the Cottontail Cottage all of a sudden? Who's the guy? He's the king of the manor, dealing with 18 little rabbits. And I think it's hysterical, Steve. And so now everybody knows. Monica, yes, the Ignition Show is like a morning show, always fun to listen to. That's what it's supposed to be. Part of me always wants to be, Howard Stern, Neil Rogers, Ron and Ron, Phil Hendry. That's what I would love to do, to be an entertainer. There's no money in that until you get to the very top. Let's see. No, you can't get off that easy. Let's see. I guess he's talking about the tree. I already gave up on it, man. I moved past it. Maybe I'll try again at the very end. Way to step up, Steve Brenwald from Brenwald Media. Yeah, he stepped up, man. He steps up. I want to see the time. I don't know what. Oh, you can't see that. It's over here. No, that's how I lie about my. Look, watch. I'm going to show you. Yeah. Ready? All I got to do is lefty, going lefty. Ah, trip zero. Amazing. Another one. That's incredible. All right, everybody. Tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be back here, and we're going to do it all again. This is the address if you want some stickers for free. And I'm not telling you don't get stickers for free, because I'll put them for free. Self-addressed stamped envelope, Costello Media /WFO stickers, P.O. Box 848-353, Pembroke Pines, Florida 33084. But if you go to WFOradio.com right now and click on the WFO store, you can get one of these bad boys, shipping included, for $10, and I'll throw in the WFO radio stickers. And that feels like a great value. And you can rock it at the U.S. Nationals. That's my plan. I'm going to be rocking the mask big time. I have my filter in there. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. I call this show a really good one. The guests were incredible. Just like setting up a handicap start on the practice tree while live on the air with my left hand's just couldn't do it. Epic fail. Hey, sometimes it doesn't go right. All right, let's see what the final comments are out there. Steve loves it. Yeah, no, everybody knows your plight now, Steve. 18 bunnies. It's soon going to be 36 bunnies. Everybody knows about bunnies, Steve. We all know about the bunnies. What's going to happen to you? You're going to be overwhelmed by bunnies. And Steve doesn't want to give them away because people they want to eat the bunnies, and I agree. These are cute little fuzzy bunnies. Pretty soon, Steve might change his tune. Let's see. Monica, thanks for the show. Jim Norris, much easier when not in a car. Yeah, the car part makes it much more challenging. Marshall, love you, Joe. You too. Thank you so much. Agree. Good show. Show us again. I don't know who that is. Sorry, I'm done. We're done. Nobody's there. I've been talking for 20 minutes without a guest. I don't have the capacity to entertain people for 20 minutes without a guest. Soon to be 100,000 bunnies. You want a bunny, Jim? No, it's true. That's the truth. The bunnies are quicker than EE. No doubt. Thanks for bringing Scruggs in. Absolutely. Well, we got Chad Green tomorrow and Scruggs today. And we're going to have Justin Ashley and TJ Zizzo. And we got to get those guys in. And Chris Holbrook, part of the Factory Stock Showdown final. You got to listen to Factory Stock Podcast. Listen to that one, everyone. Serious. That one's like, I think, it's almost journalism. Almost. Final one. I don't know what that is. All right, everybody. Tomorrow, we'll see you there, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And thanks to our sponsors. Thanks to you guys. WFO.